Now get ready for Watching Weird, your ultimate destination for mind-bending movie reviews and recommendations. From hidden gems to cult classics, we explore it all. Hosted by storytellers and cinephiles Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne, with a special shout out to Landis Aldana and Alan Lasseter for their incredible support that help us keep the lights on at Weird. Now grab your Coke, popcorn, and tinfoil hat, and let's get weird.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a week. It's busy at work. A lot of people doing a lot of things, a lot of overtime. So it's been good. I did squeeze in 3 movies. Actually, I squeezed in like 6 movies this week. But these 3 were not bad. How about you?
That's
How's
pretty
your
good.
life?
All right, we had a fire near the house. Hey, Tony, but
Good, buddy.
they put it out in time, so
Well,
we're still standing. It's that time of the year here, though. It's fire season in Northern California, because we border up against Northern California, so we get, we got Tahoe and all that, so
you get those Santa Anas
we get the
too?
fire season. Not
get
here,
those-
not here. We don't. That's Southern California. So, but Northern California, we've got, like I said, we're right up there with Tahoe, and you've got all the wooded area and stuff, hundreds of miles of it, and it's just, fire season, fire season, fire season, fire season.
Yeah. How close has it got
year
to you?
before-
In the past?
That's the closest right there. Probably about 3 miles, 4 miles
Oh man.
from us. Yeah. And there's a lot of houses in that area too. None burned down, thank God, but it came pretty close. So
Yeah. I don't
interesting
like hearing that, man.
times. Interesting
I don't
times.
like hearing that at all. Wow.
Max told me he's going to join us shortly,
Oh,
so
that's good.
he'll be in the chat too. Max Crum.
Yeah, we love Max, but don't tell him we said that.
Right? You can't give him a bigger head than he's got.
I know.
So
Yeah, he's
for everybody, Scott had stuff to do with his it's the end of the year for his school, and so he had stuff to do, so he won't be joining us. And Heather won't be joining us till the middle of next month, beginning of next
something
month.
like that. Once she gets her office setup done, then she'll be jumping back on. She said
So
hopefully
you just got to
before my birthday or before your birthday. When's your birthday?
your birthday. Mine's in October, so your birthday.
All right.
Yeah, your birthday. So you guys are gonna have to put up with us 2 tonight. There is Max.
There's Maxie. Hey, buddy. Tony,
Speak
I
of the
and Max.
devil.
Two of
Tony,
the
I'm-
good guys.
That's all we need. That's all we need. Originally, we were gonna do 3 war movies tonight, but since Scott couldn't make it and he's one of our war buffs, we switched up. So, and I think actually we did pretty good tonight.
Yeah. These I think all 3 of these movies were picked by you, actually,
No,
and you did a good job.
thank you. I'll take that kudos.
They were.
It's no
good flicks.
sloth bears on a train or anything, but
Sloth bears on it. Yeah, we've
Max
done
is
enough of that.
unprepared. Yeah, right.
Oh, no.
Do you want to go ahead? Do you want to start tonight?
Yeah, let me just yawn first. Like I said, we're busy. Yeah, so we've got 3 really good flicks tonight. We've got The Accountant 2, and somebody's laughing. And we've got Boss Level, and we've got Predator, Killer of Killers. Some decent flicks this week. Suggested by none other than Alan Gamboa. He decided on 3 movies to replace. We worked on it together, but they were all his suggestions. We bumped the war movies for next week because, as he just said, Scott's going to be here on next week, and I got The Accountant 2. Let me. Here it is, right here. Excellent. Made a short little write up about it. I don't like giving the plots away with the new flicks.
Well,
The Accountant
before you
2, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
hold on, Rich. Hold on. Let me ask you something real quick before you start.
Sure.
Were you a fan of The Accountant 1?
Oh, it was great.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
that's
a
all I
huge
wanted to
fan
know.
of the Accountant one. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. Were you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it probably 3-4 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. The Accountant 2 is a 2025 film directed by Gavin O'Connor. It's the follow up to the great film The Accountant. It stars Ben Affleck as a genius, savant, mathematician hitman, John Bernthal as his brother, who is just a hitman, Danielle Pineda, who plays a savant hit woman, and Cynthia Adai Robinson, who plays, wait for it, a deputy director of FinCEN, the Department of the Treasury's Financial Crimes Division. J.K. Simmons, one of my favorite actors, plays a bit part in this one too. He played a larger part in the first one, but unfortunately he was only in this one briefly. The plot is fairly standard genius savant hitman plot with Affleck trying to solve the murder of his buddy from FinCEN and calling in his estranged hitman brother to help, with the hit woman not really sure who she is because of her hit woman inducing brain damage. That's all the plot I'm really going to give as this is a new flick, and I don't want to give any more spoilers. I like this movie and the way it was done. One of the cool things is they used genius savant non-hitman kids to help with all the cool computer stuff from the basement of his savant house. For whatever reason, Affleck decides on a weird voice this time, and I didn't like that though. He didn't use the inflections in the first flick, and I don't know why they went with it this time. It's not prevalent, but it's definitely there, and it's like I said, I just don't know why they did that. He had absolutely nothing like that in the first film, and in this film, they tried to do some kind of weird voice, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. And it wasn't all the time, but it was definitely there. The estranged relationship between the brothers is fleshed out in the second installment, and I liked where that went. The film's uber violent as well, with a lot of hand-to-hand fighting and bullets galore. Although some of the gunplay could have been choreographed a bit better, I wouldn't call it awful, like that Tom Hardy flick I reviewed a few weeks back. That was just ridiculous. I can't remember the name of the movie, and honestly, I don't really care to. The flick grossed 102 million, and in its first weekend, it finished third behind Sinners, believe it or not, and a re-release of Revenge of the Sith. It has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, but they're highfalutin anyway. There's going to be an Accountant 3, and Gavin O'Connor, I think, is going to direct. They said they were supposed to start filming right away, but I don't know what Affleck's schedule was like, and I know John Bernthal's, he's doing the Punisher stuff. So, but anyway, what did you think, big man?
I'm a big fan of the first one. Actually, it was one of those movies that surprise the hell out of you when you watch it. Because I know you're bigger Affleck fan than I am.
I do like it.
But I'm not. This series has won me over to him. Warmed me up a little bit. I enjoyed this one. The parts that I really liked were John Bernthal.
Yeah.
He really brought what's his name? He's got a funky name, the character in there. But he really fleshes him out, like you said, in the relationship between him and Ben Affleck. And it works, and it's fun to watch. And then when they have the little interactions with Bernthal and the business that he's doing, that stuff's pretty funny. I probably not really give anything away at this part, but there's a part where John Bernthal's sitting at this table with this gal, and obviously the gal looks distressed, and they're in this beautiful apartment. And he's on the phone dealing with something, and then she's kind of, you can tell she's distressed, and finally he gets off the phone, and he's talking to her, and she, he asks her what's wrong with her, and she says, you're not going to kill me, are you? And then he gets pissed at that, and he says, no. And he walks out, and as he's walking out, you see why she thought that he was going to kill her. I mean, you'll pick up on that when the scene starts. Really, it was. I think they had something like that in the first Accountant. Because Bernthal's not a bad guy; he kills bad guys, and it just, J.K. Simmons. I like his little part in this. And they bring back the FBI Treasury, financial crimes. She's financial crimes director now, thanks to Ben Affleck and his tribe of people there. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of humor, a lot more humor in this than the first one, because they bring in, Bernthal's characters in there almost
Yeah.
right away, within the first 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, and you know who he is as well. You thought he
Yeah,
was going to be the big bad in the last movie until you found out they were
yeah,
brothers. So
exactly.
cool.
Exactly. And there's a lot of violence, like you said, like with the movie deals with sex trafficking. And it's what happens to some of the sex traffickers, not the gun parts, but the hands-on part. Some of that's pretty good.
It is.
It's worth watching. This is a case of a sequel being really good. I don't know if it's better than the first one, because the first one's just full of surprises, lets you into this world, builds this world up, and this just adds on to that world. And I'm glad they're talking about making a third one, because I'd like to see that again.
Yeah.
And what's her name is not in it. The cup stacking chick, can't even Anna Kendrick, she's not in this one. And people are like, how come she's not in this one? Well, there's no place for her character in this one. They wrapped up her character story pretty good, I thought, in the first one. So she's not in it. She doesn't need to be in it. It's like some of the sequels where they bring people back that really don't need to be in it, but because they were in the first one and people wanted to see them again, they bring them back. This one's I saw this one at the theater.
Yeah.
And I thought it was theater worthy, and so I recommend this one. Yeah. I'm with you on this, Rich. I don't want to give too much away because it is a new movie. Yeah. And Amazon Prime has it free. If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there for free right now. So check it out. So what do you give this, sir?
I'll give this how about just under 4? How about a 3.9? I think it's worth it. I think everybody should, if you haven't seen the first one, definitely watch the first one first and then watch this one after. And it would definitely be worth a watch. You should for sure see it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I'll give this one a 4. I think I probably liked it a little bit better than you did. Hey, Alan Clark, welcome in. We're talking about The Accountant 2 right now.
Yeah. Lee Edwards and Landa showed up. They're here too.
Yeah. Hey, Landa and Lee. I'm not as, and this is not a dig at you, Rich, because my son is like this too.
Mm-hmm.
I can overlook bad gun stuff, and some bad tactics if I'm enjoying the movie. Like that Tom Hardy one I thought was fun, but they never reloaded. All the guns blew everybody to pieces.
Exactly.
But that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
The more I thought about that Tom Hardy flick, the more I thought they did that on purpose. The only issue is when you do have the raging gun nuts, of which I am one, they get turned off by no reloading, no gun jamming, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the things that you just can't do with a gun, but I guess that kind of makes it a little funny as well. It's just that I'm waiting for things that can happen that don't happen and things that shouldn't happen that do.
Yeah.
And it just kind of takes it away from me a little.
No, I get that. I get that because there's certain elements of movies that just take me away. It's like and this one, The Accountant 2. That Tom Hardy movie was done by the guy that made the movie The Raid, so it's done in that style.
Yeah.
Done in that crazy Gonzo style. But this movie's worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. If you like the first one, you'll enjoy this one because it just carries on and it expands John Berthnall's character even better. So Rich, you got anything?
That's it for this one. I mean, if you want to carry on to the next flick, you had Predators. Like I said, I think this was a good flick, and everybody should watch it.
I agree. I've got Killer Killers, the Predator animated movie. It's on Hulu right now. This was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the guy that did Predator Prey. And I like that movie. And I know the Predator fans are a weird bunch. They want the same They want the same Predator movie redone over and over. They don't want anything new. They want Arnold Schwarzenegger kicking butt. It's really funny that way. Um, this one, like I said, was directed by Dan Trachtenberg. He did Prey. He's done this one. The animation on this is beautiful, especially the when they're in feudal Japan. I thought that was some of the best artwork in the movie. It has three elements. It has a Viking element, which reminded me of that short story you wrote for the Undead. That gave me the vibe. There's a Viking shield maiden story. Then it switches to feudal Japan, and then it goes to the Atlantic Ocean in World War II. And all three stories, different warriors confront different predators, and all the predators look different in this, which I thought was very cool. They look mean. The Viking one is really huge, and the one in Japan is really lean, like a samurai. And then the one in World War II looks like the bad guy from that Tim Allen spoof of Star Trek. He's got a patch over his eye, and he looks more like an alien than like a predator in a bad sci-fi movie, but it still works. It's a lot of fun. The characters are drawn pretty good, and you even get a glance at the alien home world, which we've always wanted to see, because I believe in Predators that was just like a game preserve
it was a
for those
preserve.
guys. Yeah, but you get a glance at it, and you get to see the head predator at that time, the king predator, whatever he is, and he's huge and he looks very cool. And you even get a monster, a beast, a predator beast thing, and that is really neat. It's the fights in these two are pretty good, actually. The fights between the characters and some of the NPCs that are just there that just get wiped the hell out by these things. It's bloody and gory, and it would probably cost him $500 million to make a live action version of this movie. I mean, it's just beautifully drawn, and it's worth watching. I don't want to give anything away because this is new. It's only been out a week or two, I think. So I don't want to really give anything away. The plot is, though, three different warriors fighting predators, and then there's more. And then at the very end, it'll say, killer of killers, predator. And watch that last scene right after that. There's no end credit scene, but right after that, there's a scene that ties everything in. That is very, very cool. Also, the Japan episode reminded me of the plot for Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes.
A little bit.
Didn't you get that vibe from the?
Yeah, I was actually talking to my son about it.
And one was dressed, one was dressed in white, and one was dressed in black. Yeah. But what do you think, Rich?
I thought it was great. I think that, like you said, if Trachtenberg keeps going down this road, then I think the next Predator movie is going to be excellent. We've had some not so excellent stuff, although the last few were pretty good. I really like the movie Predators, the one with not Aaron Ack, Thomas Jane. I thought it was good. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I did too. I think the only thing downside on that movie to me was the Predator suit at the end.
Yeah,
I thought if they would have.
Right.
Yeah, but I love that one. That one's great. Shane Black wrote that one, so
I know exactly. In this one's really good. I like the way they use the time dilation to tie in all three of these characters. What they're going to do is, you can figure it out going through. I really don't want to wreck it for you, but there's 4 segments to this movie. There's the 3. There's the Shield Maiden. There's the Samurai, and there's the World War II pilot. He's actually a plane mechanic, but he ends up flying. And then they tie them all together in the end. And you sort of see them on the ship together, the Predator ship earlier. And they use time dilation to figure out how they get them all because they're all together. Those 3 characters are together and in more than one location. So it's pretty good. In this movie, you also get to see your first Predator ship battle. He's flying a spaceship and he's fighting, World War II P-40s. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed this. I think this is like you said, the animation was great. It's sort of that blocky stop animation. It's not like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's not claymation, but you've seen it before, and it's really, really well done. And like you said, Alan, this would have been and Max said it too. It would have been a really, really great movie to see, live action flick, but it would have cost him $500 million to make this movie for sure.
Yeah.
And with the three, where it was, basically 4 vignettes, I don't think it would have done as well in the movie theater as like a full length feature film. Even though this is a full length feature film, one that's just the same movie all the way through. But this was more like a set of tied together anthologies, but they pulled it off. They did really, really well, and it's. I think it's. Is it the number 1 movie on Hulu right now? It's got to be up there. If it's
I
not.
think so.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, the Predator nerds, like you said, they're severe. So it's. I can see them hating this just to hate it, but it was great. It was honestly, it's worth an hour and a half of your time. And the acting is good, the animation is great, the sounds are good. There's not a lot of dialogue in the Japanese one, but the dialogue that's there is great. And even take the Predator out of it, and the story is, like you said, it's fantastic. It's excellent. Same thing with the other two as well. More so the Japanese one and the Viking one than the World War II one. Most of the World War II one takes place after they meet the Predator, but I think it's like 50-50 for the other two. And it's totally worth
it. The brute deaths are brutal. I mean, Predators are brutal, but they're never fair. They're never fair. You got this, guy with a sword, and you got this, grenade launcher, or like with the Shield Maiden, you got this powered shield, that smashes heads to, pull.
Yeah.
And plus you're 3 times the size of a human being, they're badasses, no doubt, but they're also very unfair badasses.
Well, think about hunting now. Think about, real life hunting now. If somebody goes out there, a .458 Winchester Magnum with a ballistic scope on it, take a deer's head off from, 2 miles away. That's not fair.
Yeah, but you're going to eat it.
A crocodile with a stick and get back to me, and then you're a predator.
Yeah. But like the World War II scenes where, he's just launching a projectile through the tail of the plane up through the fuselage and into the guy's gut, and then yanks him out through the plane the same way. It's like, my gosh.
It was,
the Viking scenes, when she's attacking the town, she was just brutal. I love that shield she had, with
the top taken out of it. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I was surprised because I thought, okay, animated, I'm not a big fan of anime. I know you're more of an animated fan than I am. I just, for some reason, anime movies take me, out of it. But this one kept me in pretty good. Kept me involved, and it's Predator. And also this one, Michael Biehn now joins the club of being zapped by a Predator and a Terminator.
Huh.
So he does a voice of a character in there.
I didn't know that, actually. But he, I guess he technically died from
Alien.
From an alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Did he get killed by the Predator in this? So
yeah.
He died by all 3 as well. It's all 3. He
got
killed by the Terminator. He, in theory, died from the alien, and the Predator just killed him, right? So, all right.
So he joins that club. He plays the commander of the aircraft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's him. So I think they did that as a little, Easter egg to fans of all that stuff.
One more guy. So has Michael Biehn.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of cool for in the nerd verse. This is enjoyable, and it gives me hope for the new Predator movie that's coming out. Trachtenberg did that one, and people have been poo-pooing it. Just face it, Alien and Predator. Other than the first Predator movie and the second one too, evolved into even the Dark Horse comics, a female character being the strong. Being able to fight these guys and defeat them, and a lot of that fanverse gets really twisted with that. But it's all intermingled with the Alien universe. Wei and Yutani exist in the Predator verse. So it really doesn't bug me that much. That should be a new a show for us, the Nerdverse. We live in the Nerdverse, Lee. But so what do you give this one, Rich? What do you think?
Honestly, I think I gotta bump this one up to like a 4.5. I really like this. I like the way they did it. It boosts, like you said, it boosts my hopes for the next Predator movie, and part of the franchise. And that being said, now after I saw Alien Romulus, I'm really hoping that the Alien TV show is excellent as well. They have the potential to do that well, so that it's helping that, like, this movie furthered that along, because
Right.
again, for the longest time it was kind of crappy. They weren't the best films. I had to see them all because it's Alien and Predator. I had to watch them all. I watched all the Terminator ones too, all the bad ones, the crappy ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, this one, I'm going to give this one a 4.5. How about you?
I'm gonna jump in there with you. Yeah, definitely 4.5, because I enjoyed it. It kind of, like you said, it gives me hope. Alien Romulus, yeah, I thought it was good. Even though it was it was tropey, and homage. I thought it was great, though. I enjoyed it. It's what I wanted in an Alien movie. The only Aliens movie I really did not like was the one on the prison planet,
Yeah, nobody liked
Alien
it.
3.
It was
But
terrible.
I love most of Resurrection. I really do. I like the part in the space station and
Yeah, I like it too.
space pirates and the Marines and all that mixture. But then I didn't like the part where she's having sex with the alien or whatever she's doing, whatever she's doing with the alien. And I didn't care for that part, but I mostly like that movie. I could watch that one over Alien 3 any day.
Agreed. And the first Alien Predator movie was fantastic as well.
Oh yeah.
The one with the pyramid. But the second one kind of sucked. It was just not good. But I think the last two Predator movies were pretty good. I liked them. Better than the Terminator movies, that's for sure.
Well, Predators and Predator, and was it The Predator?
Predator,
Is that
yeah.
Yeah, Predators is great.
Yeah,
I mean, it was great. I think Adrian Brody did a good job. I would never picture him in that role.
Yeah, he doesn't look like
he
a
did a
tough
good
guy.
job. Yeah, but I thought he did a good job. What's her name? Alice Braga. She did great in that.
Yeah.
And you had Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
And what's his name from the '70s show? That I liked how his character turned. He was a psycho. But that was good. And then the Predator, that was written by the original guy that did, worked on the script for Predator, the original Predator movie. And Shane Black, to me, and this is golden. I'd love to write like that guy. I love his dialogue. And I thought this one's great. Thomas Jane, the dude from Narcos.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Good cast. You had Keegan Key in it, from Key and Peele, and I forgot. Yeah, I mean, you just had guys you've seen, Thomas Jane, a whole bunch of other people. Like I said, the only caveat I have about that is the suit at the end. I think that kind of takes you away.
Yeah. So same thing with Romulus. Alien Romulus. The critter at the end was just, they should have done much better with that. The whole
Yeah.
movie was fantastic. And even that part of it was great. It was just the creature itself was just kind of stupid. Just totally unnecessary to look like that. You know, they could have made it they could have made it much more alien like, you know, and they just kind of they screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah. Max, you know, I watched the preview for Hulu, a preview for the new Alien series on that's coming on Hulu, and it looked good.
Yeah.
You know, it looked good. And that's another one where, you know, people have female, you know, I saw one comment, oh, look at a female with short hair. It's like, did you ever watch the original Alien?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You know, I mean, you know, I understand a female's not going to be able to, you know, beat up, you know, bunch of dudes coming at her, you know, whatever.
Depends
It's
on the
just
female.
strength. Yeah. But I mean, just on sheer genetic strength, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And we give that we give that a leeway, you know, because we want to watch, you know, movie, the storylines moving along. You know, but you know, this is fine. This is lore. This is canon. This is, you know, females are strong. Don't in these, you know, worlds like that, and don't, you know, don't, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I guess I don't know. I'm raving on nothing, but I enjoy these movies. Um, you know, you're talking about the term. What's your favorite besides the original Terminator? And Terminator 2? Okay, well, exclude Terminator and Terminator 2. What's your favorite Terminator sequel?
I don't know. I think all the rest of them are kind of the same. They're all sort of mid level. I think I like the one that everybody hates. I like the one with the Australian guy. What's his Sam Worthington? I
Yeah,
thought that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. You know, I think it's better than the third one. The third one is the one with the female Terminator, right? Christiana
yeah,
Logan. She did okay, but I thought the movie was kind of silly. Um, and then the one with Emilia Clarke, that one was just, that needed a little work.
yeah.
But I think the one that everybody hates the most is that one with Sam Worthington, and I liked it. I thought it was
Oh, I
good.
love that one. Salvation, Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, is that what it was
I love
called?
that
I
one.
can't remember. Yeah,
It's got
I've
some
seen it a
cool
few
stuff
times.
in it. You know, and Christian Bale is second fiddle in that. You know, he's his character. They could have made the movie without him and
Yeah,
got somebody else because his character really adds nothing to the movie. You know, you know, you could get, I don't know, Ron Perlman to play John Connor. I don't know, but you know,
yeah.
he just didn't real. But I do. That's my favorite after Terminator 2. That's my favorite Terminator movie. I think.
Yeah, well, there we go. Someone else, someone else
You know,
was with it. That's great.
and and Genesis was weird. I mean, it's funny that part where, you know, uh Arnold's a Terminator, an actual Terminator, you know, killing bugs and stuff. You know, his, you know,
Yeah.
his robot self. That's what he's doing. You know,
He's married with
but
kids, or married with a wife.
yeah. Now that was the one with Linda Hamilton, right? There was another one, right, with Linda Hamilton came back and did.
I don't. No, she's in that one, right? Isn't she in that one?
Is she in
Am
Genesis
I
or?
thinking? I don't now. See, now I'm getting confused because I watched, like, last year. I watched the TV series as well with Lena Headey.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah.
actually not bad. It was pretty good.
No, but Fox likes to cancel their
Yeah,
sci-fi series. You
I
know,
know. Netflix too.
yeah, yeah. There's a ton of good series that just Space Above and Beyond is one of them.
Yeah,
Firefly's the big name
yeah.
there. You know, that got killed. But does anyone remember the I think it's like Dark Fury or something with Linda Hamilton came back and they were in Mexico, I think. And there was a gal that Linda Hamilton was helping, and uh, it,
Let's see.
it's not horrible.
Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, Prey, Predator, Killer of Killers, Predator Badlands, Alien versus Predator, Aliens versus Predator Requiem. But they didn't mention Genesis or the other one. What the hell? This is Wikipedia. Yeah, it doesn't have them all. I wonder, maybe they're not in the same. Maybe they're not. I mean, it's the franchise, right? All 7 Predator movies. Yeah, I don't know. They don't even list them.
And
Huh.
they should have put Way. They should have been the instead of Cyberdyne systems. It should have been Way and Utani making
Yeah, that
making
would
the
have been great.
Terminators.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe Wayland Utani owns Cyberdyne Systems.
maybe.
That's an easy way out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I
But
agree,
there's just
Max.
so
I saw
much.
that last year, the Connor Chronicles. Wow, I couldn't get it out.
Yeah, that was a good series. Um, so we both agree this was you need to watch this one. If you're especially if you're a Predator fan, you need to watch this. Definitely. Now,
It is.
Rich, I'm I'm gonna let you lead with boss level.
Yeah, so my buddy Alan threw this movie at me. He's like, "We need a third movie," and he's like, "All right, let's try Boss Level. It's got Frank Grillo in it." And I was like, all right there, I'm sold. I like Frank Grillo. I'll give it a try. I was like, "Where can I find it?" Ended up watching it on, I think it was Hulu, right? Was it Hulu
Yeah,
that it was on?
Hulu.
And I'm like, I don't like the Groundhog Day type of movies where they sort of reset everything and start over with the main character with a little bit of knowledge. It was good in Edge of Tomorrow. That was pretty good. I like that with Tom Cruise. But most of the rest of them, I can't get past it. It's just really frustrating. That's what this movie is, and it was fantastic. They did it really well. It opens up with Frank Grillo, and he's just in a bed and he's sleeping, and he wakes up and he sits up a little, and this machete just comes right in his face, and he ducks, and it goes, and that sets the tone for the whole movie. And it's just about what he learns going forward. And it is incredibly uber violent, and it's
Yeah.
funny. There's definitely a comedic aspect to it, and the entire film is about how he just keeps dying every day. He can't get past a certain point in the day without all these hitmen finding him and killing him somehow. And sometimes he kills the hitmen, and sometimes he doesn't, and they'll come and they'll find him later and kill him. And it's just that's the whole flick. And then he sort of has an epiphany here, and then another one there, and then he starts to get a little bit further on in the day, and it's all about how this happened to him. And there's really no way to even discuss that without giving it away, I don't think. But of course, I mean, you can figure out it's always the same thing. It's a time thing. So it's well done. It's really, like I said, it's very violent. There's a lot of blood, a lot of hand to hand stuff. He's walking around covered in blood all the time. A couple of times he's sitting in this. It's like a Chinese restaurant, and he's talking to what's that comedian's name?
Oh, Ken
Remember.
Jeong. Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong.
And they're having conversations, and he's talking to this other guy, and it's the hitmen come in and just kill him, and they just kill him, and they just kill him again and kill him again. He's like, "Yeah, see you tomorrow," and he gets killed again, that type of thing. And once he gets past there, the movie amps up quite a bit. But getting there was fun too, because it keeps giving you, like, on the screen it'll say attempt 129, attempt 214, and it's the whole film is how he gets to where he needs to be at the end. And along the way, he of course knows what's going to happen, so he can do that, duck and dodge and go this way, and he knows what they're going to say, and it doesn't vary too much, but sometimes it does, and it was really well done. I liked it, and it's a movie I'm probably going to watch again because I know there's quite a bit I missed. What did you think?
I love this movie. You know me. I'm a Frank Grillo, fan. If I had hair, I'd be wearing a pompadour right now. But this is, this is sci-fi Groundhog Day. You and I talked earlier about Groundhog Day, but this one really it works. And the cast in this is just so eclectic. Max was saying, Gronk, Gronkowski's up on the, minigun in the helicopter, when it keeps showing that minigun scene with the helicopter, that's hilarious. Michelle Yeoh is in this, teach him how to be a samurai. Ken Jeong, like you said, Uh, and then and Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's,
Yeah.
you know, and his chief of security is Will Sasso. Do you remember him from Mad TV?
Yeah.
You know, he's a comedian. You know, but
Comedian,
he did great. And then you had Naomi Watts. You know, she's a fairly, you know, big time actor. And this is kind of, it's not a big movie, but it's, you know, a Mel Gibson size movie nowadays. You know, but it's well made. It's well filmed. It's a lot of fun. But there's a great cameo in this. Did you catch it when he's carjacking that guy? That guy he keeps carjacking?
No, I don't know who that is.
Hey, Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know that.
Next time you watch it, just Jason Sudeikis.
I'll be in
It's great.
contact.
Yeah, yeah. So this like I said, this is ultra violent. Especially the part where he's pulling his own teeth out, you know. I mean,
Oh, I
that was
hate
like
that.
hard to watch. It's a lot of fun though. It was surprised when I first time watched it, I was like, okay, we'll give it a, you know, because usually Frank Grillo's not in the best movies, you know, but I'll watch him. And I thought this was gonna be another B movie. And same with Mel anymore. Mel's in a lot of, you know, meh B movies now. You know, even though he uplifts some because he's a really good actor. And this one surprised the hell out of me. You know, I've seen it twice, and I like it. And it's poignant. It's kind of poignant too. The part between him and his son. You know, it kind of gets you in the feels. It kind of
Yeah.
goes that way, but it goes for a lot of humor. You know, like in that picture above you there. You know, he's got the gun to his head, and you know he does that a few times in the movies just to further along what he needs to do. You know, he needs to die to restart, and there's a lot of that in there. Uh, Curtis Rampage Jackson's even in this one. He plays one of the German twins, or I think he plays both the German
Yeah,
twins.
both
I'm
of
not
them.
sure. But this was written and directed by Joe Carnahan, who did the A Team, Smoking Aces, and a very good little Gerard Butler movie called Cop Shop. If you haven't
I
seen
like
Cop
that. I
Shop,
like Cop Shop.
you need to watch that. Yeah, it's a good and is Frank Grillo's in that too.
Yeah.
Damn, forgot. So this one works. Like you said, Rich, you know, there you get some of them that don't. The Edge of Tomorrow works really well. In fact, I think they're making a sequel to that, I believe. I'm not sure, but I've heard that it's in the works. Do yourself a favor, check this one out. It's on Hulu. It's worth the watch. If you like actiony sci-fi, Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, Michelle Yeoh type of movies, check this one out. I want to say real quick, Clark, thank you. Terminator Dark Fate. Dark Fate.
Yes.
That's the one with Linda Hamilton. That one was kind of meh, forgettable because we couldn't even remember it.
Yeah.
So what do you give this one, Rich?
I'm going to go with another 4.5. I think this is a movie I will watch time and again. And the kicker is, this is like a B movie. I mean, I know it's got Mel in it, it's got Frank Grillo, and it's got all the people that you just mentioned, but it wasn't a mainstream flick, you know. And I like it. I will watch it again. I'm giving this sucker a 4.5. You?
Man, I hate to be a copycat, but I'm going to give it a 4.5 too. I hate to do that, but
that's fine. You can
it
give
is.
it a 4.49 or a 4.51. Outbid me.
Yeah, right. I'll give it a 4.1 and a half, 4.5 and a half. No, it's worth the watch. If you're looking for something different, well, I mean, it is different, you know, and you know, I know all you like violence. Most of you like a lot of violence, so
yeah, I think most of our
it,
peanut gallery is on the same page with us.
yeah. Man, this is kind of a family movie, even though there's a lot of violence.
Yeah,
There's
it's very
family
bloody.
at the heart of this. But definitely check it out. I think well, no, this is tied with Killer of Killers on our score.
Agreed.
You know?
Yeah. If I had to pick one, it would be difficult. I'd probably pick Boss Level, actually.
Yeah, I probably would too.
The two. It was just done so well. And honestly, I think it's Frank Grillo's best acting. He just did really, really well.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And some of the kills were unique in this, and him trying to restart every day. It's worth a watch. Definitely.
It is. And
Definitely.
he killed the same person in different ways each time, which is great.
Yeah, and I like when they figure out what's going on. The bad guys, they finally figure out what he's doing, But look for Jason Sudeikis in this. He gets carjacked by Frank Grillo. If you haven't seen this yet, and you'll get a kick out of that. It's a little funny thing, and it replays several times in the movies because he's got to do the same thing over and over again. So check it out. So we had winners all this week.
Agreed.
Good movie week.
Agreed. Did you watch anything else good this week?
I have not. Oh yeah, okay. I watched this one. It's gonna date me. Planet of the Vampires. It's an Italian movie. Planet of the Vampires. It's
I know that
Alien.
Movie.
Huh?
I said I know that movie.
Yeah, it's where they land two ships. One's in distress, and they land on this planet responding to a distress signal from somewhere else on the planet. And they get taken over, and there's a lot. Alien took a lot from this movie, from the spaceships to some of the stuff that happens. And the giant, they find the spaceship and it's full of dead giants, like Alien.
Huh.
They borrowed heavy from this movie. This is like made in the late 60s. Real stylish. Leather space suits.
Female vampire and bring her with
No, that's Queen of Space. Is that Queen of Space?
I can't remember. She ends up being
it's the vampire. They're not really vampires, but they take over your body. And but I don't know why they call them vampire. I guess because they take over your body. Either you're dead, if you're dead, or if you willingly let them in, they'll take over your body. They're trying to repopulate, get off this planet that's dying. It's a good. It's got a nice little twist ending. You've probably seen it, Rich.
I've definitely heard of it, and I just looked it up, and I remember they had these like weird 1960s spacesuits. I was looking at it. It looks like armor almost. I was just looking at that. And I was like, it looks familiar. So I was mixing it up with whatever one you were just saying.
The Queen of Blood. That's the one you're thinking of. Queen of Blood. Yeah, where she's weird looking and she's got that big old.
Yeah. She ends up dying from getting her back scratched.
Yeah. No, I think they came out at the same time. They're kind of similar in a way, But that's the last movie I watched. I watched it the other night. It's on my thing, and I finished it last night. So anyway, I haven't watched anything new. I haven't even watched any new series lately.
Oh, I saw there's a new Krasinski movie. It's him and Natalie Portman, and it's called Fountain of Youth. It's a treasure hunter movie, and it's like the Nicolas Cage things where they're going and they're finding out certain portions of things as they move along. And again, this movie literally just came out, so I don't want to wreck it for anybody. I think it's Apple TV. I can't remember what it came out on.
Yeah, I was going to give it a watch. I haven't watched it yet. Is it
okay? It's kind of exactly what you think it's going to be. I like Krasinski, so I like pretty much anything he's in. So I started watching it, and I just got this vibe that I had seen it before, and it's just it's ripped from the Nicolas Cage movies, and it's got this guy you think is a good guy is a bad guy twist, but you see it coming. So it was okay, and of course they threw a kid in there, and the kid's he's like this musical savant kid. It was okay. It's probably not a movie I'll watch again, but I liked it. Natalie Portman's in it. She did all right. It was I think I would rather have watched Planet of the Vampires, but it's not bad. It's not bad. So I'd say give it a watch. But
Yeah.
other than that, I finished that Korean series, the Hellbound. I finished the second season, and it was good. It's they left it on a cliffhanger, just like the first season. So
No,
yeah,
I gotta watch it. I like the first season.
Yeah, well, the first season was better than the second season, but the second season's got
Oh.
some stuff. Yeah, me too, Max. It was. Yeah, Max said he thinks the Fountain of Youth was meh. Me too. I think it's worth seeing, but I just give it a heavy meh.
Yeah, you're not selling me on it. And I like John Krasinski. You know, is he going to do another season of Jack Ryan, or are we done with his Jack Ryan?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Jack Reacher's coming back for another series, or Reacher.
Yeah. Reacher.
And excuse me, his best friend in the show, the female agent, she's getting her own series too.
Wow.
So yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah, that will be.
Yeah,
That
it's
will
stuff like that I don't like to miss, you know. But the thing is, with all these channels now and all these streaming services, there's just so much out there, and you just gotta sift through the crap to find the good stuff. And sometimes you think something's gonna be crap, and you're like, oh man, like Boss Level. I really thought that was gonna be. It's gonna be. Oh, Frank, please, I love you. Please don't
trust your boy. Trust your boy, Rich.
Yeah,
I'm not
I thought that it was going to be a typical Frank Grillo movie that was just like a B movie that was crappy. And I was like, Mel Gibson's in it, Naomi Watts is in it. It should be okay, and it ended up being my favorite movie of the week. You know, it was great. It's the best movie I've seen in a little bit.
I'm not Scott. You know, raccoons on a train.
No, I know. But
I think Scott and my dad get along better because they he'll watch it. Scott will watch it.
Have you already seen it when you recommended it?
Had already seen Boss Level?
Yeah. Had you already seen it when you recommended? Oh, that's great. Okay, so
I'd already
seen. I was in for something happy. All right, that's good.
Yeah, I was hoping. You know, because sometimes you never know. Yeah. You know, exactly. There might be something that turns you off from it. You know, but I was hoping. That's why I recommended it because I really enjoyed it. You know, The Surfer is it worth watching, Landa? The preview looks weird.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think it's like a horror, esoteric kind of horror,
psychological thriller suspense. 1 hour 40 minutes. 2024. Okay. It looks like I've looked this up before because it was purple, the little thingy that I
right. It looks intriguing. You know, it looks really weird. You know, Max was saying he liked Grillo in Anarchy in his what's that? I just saw it. What was that? The Purge Anarchy. That was a good one, I thought.
Yeah, actually, that wasn't bad.
I think that was one of the better ones in the series because it's more of an action movie than a social commentary so much. You didn't hate it? Okay. Maybe should check into that. Sounds like something Heather liked.
Yeah, the Grillo werewolf movie was decent. It wasn't great, but it was not nearly as good as this. And I thought that was going to be a great flick, you know. And then he was in that plant zombie movie that I just watched, but he was in it for 5 minutes. You know, he had a very small part, but he's prominently pictured on the front with Carrie-Anne Moss, and he's just not in it.
I think he's a big enough name for B movies now, because I've seen a lot of B movies with him in it that they don't interest me, the subject matter, you know. But I think they use him a lot, like Mel Gibson. You know, of course, Mel Gibson's huge. You know, and Cage, and when Bruce Willis was acting, they used him a lot too. You know, for some movies that were really crappy. You know,
The Breach. Did you ever see The Breach with Bruce Willis?
It's Frank Grillo.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Frank's in it too. It's a zombie movie in space, and it's just, oh my god, it's terrible. Yeah, I couldn't wait for it to be over. You know, you're an hour in, like, you like this, and like, I'm vested in this now. I got to stick with it. It's only got another 35 minutes, but that 35 minutes takes about 8 weeks because it's so terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he did another one with Grillo where they were in these space suits flying through space or something, and it was just
Bad.
bad. And I think it was made by the same people that made The Breach, and it was just it's like, but money's money, I guess, right?
Yeah. So he gets paid either way, whether we like it or hate it. He gets his money. But you
Yep.
know what? You know what I don't get is the production companies. They make a movie like that. How do they make any money? How do they make money? Just selling it to Netflix?
I
I don't know.
yeah. I don't get. I think some of it's tax write-off. And of course, some of it's
Maybe.
laundering. Some of them are laundering, I'm sure. And yeah, I mean, because that's gotta, Willis probably wasn't cheap. I mean, he's probably. For what he used to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Gibson
but
too. Same thing.
yeah, yeah. Well, I remember for the Expendables, Bruce Willis was in one of them, then he wasn't in the other one because he wanted $4 million for 4 days of
Yeah.
work. So Stallone's like, nope, that's too much of this budget. So they got Harrison Ford, you
Yeah.
know.
Willis might have been on the way out by then too
Yeah,
with Beja. He was like, "Yeah, I want one last hurrah." And they're like,
yeah,
"Sorry, dude, we just can't afford it." Because they're friends. Stallone and Willis are friends.
yeah. Well, you know what's funny about Harrison Ford is nowadays it seems like he'll do anything. He does a Jeep commercial, you know, he'll be what was he in that? Oh, he was in that Marvel movie,
Yeah, he was
you
the
know.
Hulk, the Red Hulk.
Did that kind of take you away when he turned into Red Hulk? Did that kind of like, here's Han Solo, Indiana Jones, and he's a Hulk, Red
No,
Hulk
it
now.
wasn't. It, it wasn't the fact that it was Harrison Ford. It was just it wasn't a great flick, and I had high
Yeah.
hopes. I had heard it wasn't good, and I'm like, yeah, but it's got all these decent characters in it. I'm gonna give it a go, and it was a big letdown. And
Yeah.
like I said, it wasn't Harrison Ford didn't detract from it. If anything, he was the best actor in the film. But it wasn't him. That wasn't that role should have been someone else.
He
You
doesn't
know?
fit in the MCU. He's just not that, even though he's played, fantasy characters and stuff, he just doesn't fit in the MCU, because he's got his own baggage with him, you know? It you, you just don't want to see Mr. Bean playing Darth Vader, I
Exactly
mean,
right. Yeah.
he's got his
So
own.
Linda makes a good point here too. It keeps people from forgetting about you. She's right. The
It
longer
does,
you can
right?
act, the more movies you're in, the more people are going to see you, and you
Right.
stay relevant. And poor Bruce
Yeah.
Willis, man, that shouldn't happen to anybody because he's completely cognizant. He just can't get his point across. He can't speak. He's aphasic. It's
And
terrible.
Max said it here too, but he did it for the money to, he's
Yeah,
got his family to support. And
yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
there was one time when it was him, Schwarzenegger, and Stallone that were just, doing double digits in the millions to be in a movie.
Yeah,
And some of them still weren't good,
yeah,
especially Willis. Willis made a lot of bad, big budgeted movies. But
yeah.
you
He
like
did,
Willis's character.
but he made a lot of bad, low budget movies too. You
Yeah,
didn't really get that out of Stallone and Schwarzenegger, although they each had a couple.
yeah. Yeah, I think Stallone's had some more turkeys than Arnold,
Yeah,
you know.
Schwarzenegger.
But
Agreed.
because Stallone, he did Rhinestone Cowboy and Halt or My Mom Will Shoot or Stop My Mom Will Shoot, and he did come back with Copland though. Copland was pretty good, but it
Yeah, it
was
was
just
funny.
is an indie movie, but it brought him back, I think, into prominence.
Yeah, and then these
If
expendable movies are all good.
oh,
I
they're
like
all
the
fun.
Expendables. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
fun films.
they're all fun. And he kept his Rocky movies going, so he stayed relevant. And now
They
Tulsa
got
King, he's totally killing it in Tulsa King.
that could be one of his best roles.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's fantastic.
Well, he's comfortable in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's almost like he's not acting. It's like he's being himself.
Yeah.
And,
Tough guy.
and you enjoy it. You enjoy like when he was getting high.
Yeah,
You
it was
like
funny.
seeing him. Yeah, it's like all right, because I don't think that's Stallone himself, really. But playing that was just hilarious. So, but yeah, you're right. I think you and Lando are right. It keeps you relevant, not Madonna relevant, because that's
No,
just
I don't know what
out
went on
there.
in that head, man.
Yeah, but it does keep you relevant. And look, we're
Agreed.
we're talking about them tonight, all of us.
Good point. Unfortunately, we have reached our hour. That's it.
We have.
We are, yeah, we were able to get through those three pretty good movies, and added some cake toppers.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to add, big fella?
Well, I just want to thank you all for joining us in the conversation tonight. Um, Hope we
I
didn't
would echo that
exclude
sentiment.
anybody tonight, but we appreciate you being here. And if you haven't seen any of these movies, see one or all three. They're
Yeah,
all
I
worth the
highly
time.
recommend Boss Level and Killer of Killers. And honestly, The Accountant 2 is not bad. It's worth seeing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, you guys have a great night. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next week.
Good night. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Scott will be here next week.
All right, Weirdlings, that's all for Watching Weird this week. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, the strange and unusual never sleeps. Well, except for maybe on Thursdays. Speaking of sleep schedules, here's a quick reminder about our other shows. Dive into the mysteries of the mind with Weird Awakenings every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cozy up with blondes, books, and campfire tales for spooky stories every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hone your craft and connect with fellow writers on Write With Me on the third Sunday of each month. And don't forget, Watching Weird now airs live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things weird, find us on social media via Linktree in the description below, or visit our website at weirdrealities.net. Stay weird.